Everybody. Appreciate y'all being here tonight. A couple quick updates. We do have a venue change for tomorrow because of some planned construction timing over at the West End Zone. We'll send more information on that tonight, but plan for our 1 o'clock signing day press conference tomorrow to be here in our lobby downstairs. Additionally, video from tonight will be made available on the Clemson Sports Information page for anybody who's looking for recordings via Zoom. We will make that available following tonight's press conference. And also, Wesley Goodwin, Mickey Kahn, and Brandon Streeter will be available following practice on Saturday, so please plan for that. But before we get to questions, we will lead off with comments from the head coach. Go.
All right, thanks, Ross. Appreciate y'all coming in tonight. And first of all, just super excited to be back with the team. I hadn't been with the team in 2 weeks, so yesterday getting back in front of them was awesome. And certainly wanted to get in front of our team before I did anything with the media. They deserve that, and it's been an awesome couple of days. But first of all, just really proud of this group. This team, started out 2-2, and with a couple really just heartbreaking, disappointing moments, and then rallied to 3-1, and then 4-0. And one of the things I challenged the team with October 1st. First day of October, I had a list of every team in the Power 5 that had at least 2 losses, and I think there were 28 teams that had at least 2 losses in September. And I said, we're fixing to find out who's who and what's what. And we won 5 in a row and won 7 out of 8. And of those 28 teams, Power 5 teams, only 2 are going into the postseason with 9 or more wins, and that's Utah and Clemson. And that's a credit to our players, our staff, the leadership, the culture that we have here. And man, I'm just super proud of these guys. It's been a fun year. Been a lot of challenges for sure, but man, those are the type of things that make you better. And no question, man, we're playing our best football, and we got better as the season went. So really just thankful to be able to get back on the field with them. Our last goal is to win the closer. That's been the case for a long time, and that's what we got in front of us. So we got a lot to do to get ready for a really, really good Iowa State team, a very good team across the board. So that's our focus right now, and it's been a fun couple of weeks recruiting. First time I've been on the road since January of 20. It's hard for me to even wrap my mind around that. Head coaches go on the road in December and January, so the last time I'd been on the road was in January of 20. And so to be able to get out for the last 2 weeks and go all over the place and get back in schools and get back in homes, and man, it was awesome. And I had one mama said, she said, "I'm sure you probably like the Zoom better." I said, No, you don't get to eat these grits through Zoom. So man, I enjoyed every second of it, and again, just realized how much you miss that part of this job. So it's been a great couple of weeks. And then this past week, in particular, has probably been one of the best weeks of my life. Honestly, it's been a great experience. It's been a blessing, and you just think about it. So here's been my week. And I got the opportunity. So C.J. Spiller was my first 5-star recruit. One of the first people to believe in me, and then he comes back, to be on my first team in 2009. So my first 5-star recruit, my first rounder, my first top 10 pick, my first Pro Bowler. In fact, I was in Hawaii when he was out there at that Pro Bowl, and now my first college football Hall of Famer. And there'll be more to come, but to be able to be in Las Vegas with him in that moment where the whole college football world was convened last Tuesday night, and be a part of that with his mom and his daughter and Daisha, his wife, I mean, that's one of the greatest, coolest moments of my life, to be a part of that. I mean, just special. Special. And an unbelievable blessing. And then working with Brent for the last week or so, and he and I, we traveled together. We spent a lot of time together the last week, and really talking through some things and trying to help him navigate what he was dealing with. And man, I'm so happy for him and Julie and their family. I mean, there's nothing sad about it at all. It's a blessing. It's just like I take a lot of pride in developing our players. I want to develop our staff, and I love seeing people get an opportunity. And for Brent, because he's turned down a lot of opportunities, and we've had a lot of time to plan. He's had a lot of opportunities, and kept thinking he was gonna to take it, but this was the right, and nobody saw this coming, but this was the right opportunity for him. And man, that is such a blessing to know that there's a lot of young people in Oklahoma that I'm not going to get a chance to coach, but they're going to be directly impacted by how we've done things at Clemson for the last 14 years. And I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful that I had the opportunity to work with a great man in Brent Venables and a great friend for the last 10 years. It's been awesome. And, I love continuity. Continuity is great, but new opportunity is great too. They're both great. And so this is a great opportunity for everyone involved. And then for Tony, I've been with Tony for 19 years. I'll never forget. I took a job, and 2 days later, I'm coaching spring ball. Literally. I came and got the job and watched spring practice. And next thing I know, I'm coaching out there. And my very first meeting, I'll never forget, because Tony couldn't go through spring that spring. That he wasn't on the team that spring. He kind of had he was coming back in the fall, and I was really confused when Tommy was explaining the whole thing to me. But he came out there and he's at practice, and it was almost like he was evaluating me. But I remember I watched everybody's tape, and I'm like, "Where's this guy?" And he's like, "Well, he's going to be back in the fall." And so I got a chance to meet him, and just instantly knew there was an instant connection with Tony Elliott. We have a lot of similarities. And as we got to know each other's backgrounds and histories, we kind of had an instant bond. And man, he was awesome for me my first year coaching these receivers, and a leader and a captain. And I remember him walking in my office telling me he's quitting Michelin, and I'm like, well, let's go coach high school ball for like a year. Volunteer before you do that. Let's make sure it's what you want to do. And then being able to bring him on board, and he never coached a running back a day in his life. And I'm like, I'm not worried about that. That's easy. I'm just hiring you because you're who you are as a person. And then moving him to offensive coordinator, never called a play a day in his life. And very similar, 7 years ago, this very bowl was the last time we had, and Oklahoma was a part of that equation too, ironically, 7 years ago. And, everybody remember they said we'd never, all those people, when I hired Chad, there was not a lot of people happy. I lost my mind, been in high school, college 7 months, and then when he was leaving, we'll never get a first down again. I remember that very well. And, man, Tony has called every play for 7 years. And what an amazing job. All he did was, guys never called a play, took us to 6 straight playoffs and 3 national championships against Alabama, averaged 40 points a game and 500-something yards of offense. So not bad. And so just so excited. And so same thing, he's been very patient, and he's had many opportunities. And so to be able to finally, like when this happened, I told him, I said, this is the one. This is the perfect fit for Coach Elliott and his family. And so, man, it's a blessing to be a part of that process and to see it come to fruition. And I'm just so happy for those guys. And then also, man, we're going to have some peripheral support people that'll get some new opportunities with them. That's a blessing for them. And that's great. But it's also new opportunity for my staff. It's an opportunity for me to bless somebody else, and an opportunity for them to continue to grow. So I'm excited about it. And probably the best part of where we are today is the excitement in our team of the changes that we made. Because you best believe nobody knows better than our team. And, man, these guys are incredibly excited, in what we're doing and moving forward. So it's going to be awesome. And as far as, I know we put out a little press release, but, man, Brandon Streeter, that's a no-brainer. Street actually has been a coordinator for multiple years, but prior to coming here, and he left being a coordinator to come in and coach the quarterbacks and then passing game coordinator. And, man, what a great job he's done. A great job coaching, teaching, evaluating. Unbelievable job Deshaun Watson's last 2 years. and then recruiting Trevor, developing Trevor. He's just done an amazing job. So he's over-prepared for this opportunity and deserves it. He's turned down, there's so many things that people don't know, but he's turned down multiple NFL jobs. He had an opportunity to coordinate in NFL last year. He's had multiple SEC coordinator jobs all over. But he stayed right here and he stayed patient. And this is his time and his opportunity, and I'm excited for him. Kyle Richardson. So y'all remember, local media, y'all remember 6 years ago I wanted a high school perspective in our staff room. And so I went and hired two of the best in the country. I hired Kyle Richardson from Northwestern, who multiple state championships and just unbelievable, coaching Mason Rudolph and Cordell Patterson and all them dudes, Logan Rudolph and all. And then I went and hired this guy named Mickey Kahn, who started the Grayson program, like literally built the stadium and head coach there for 15, 16, however many years. And, man, I brought them in and knew what they would bring to our staff, and then also knew at some point we'd get them on the field. And we had an opportunity with a 10th assistant to get Mickey on there a little earlier. And just haven't, as y'all know, we hadn't had a lot of transition, hadn't had a lot of change. So this was a great opportunity to finally be able to get, and Kyle's been patient. Kyle's turned down multiple jobs. He's turned down coordinator jobs. He's turned down quarterback jobs to stay at Clemson because this was his dream. And, man, he's earned it. He deserves it. He is so freaking fired up. But the bad thing is if he'd have known all this was happening, he had to have a little back surgery, so he's actually out for the bowl and chomping at the bit. It's like you got to be kidding me when I called him. So otherwise he'd have waited till January. But so Thomas Austin will coach our tight ends through me and Thomas will coach them through the bowl. So they'll be the best blocking group, I promise you, by the time Thomas gets done with them. But Kyle's so deserving. He's going to do a great job. He's got a great aptitude and acumen for the passing game, and being able to put him in this role is going to help us and make us better. And then obviously defensively, everybody's heard the news by now, but Wes will be our defensive coordinator. And all I can tell y'all is there's nobody that has more at stake than Coach Swinney. This is my livelihood. There's nobody that's got more, just like when I hired Tony and everybody was questioning me and all I can tell you is Wes Goodwin's special. And everybody that's ever worked with him, everybody that knows him, these players, they know who he is and what his capabilities are. And it's a blessing that I've been able to hang on to him. He's turned down 3 or 4 linebacker jobs in the NFL for the last 3 years. And I've just kind of kept him and just saying, hey, this is my plan. Just stay patient. Let's just stay patient. It'll be a lot easier for you to transition as opposed to me having to go get him, from the NFL. And there's a reason why those NFL guys have been trying to hire him. He's a very, 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 very talented young coach with an incredibly bright future. And then Mickey Kahn, man, he'll be our co-D coordinator. Wesley will call it. But Mickey, his what he's done in the 6 years here. Took a rookie safety this year in the defensive player of the year in this league. What he's done with that group, they've gotten better and better and better. He has a great big picture understanding. He's going to bring great leadership. So I'm excited about his role. Mike Reed, making him the special teams coordinator. Man, Mike's been with me, and man, those 2 corners. That's the first time in a long time we've had 2 first-team all-conference corners at the same school. And Coach Reed's done an unbelievable job, and he's gonna take over that special teams coordinator role and put him in a little bit more of a leadership opportunity. And then Coach Bates, I'm losing a lot in Tony Elliott. Tony was more than just a coordinator. Tony was an assistant head coach for me, and truly, in every sense of the word, assistant head coach. And a lot of collaboration, a lot of communication, a lot of discussion, from a head coach standpoint. And that's what Todd Bates brings. Todd Bates is going to be he's a future head coach and going to be a great head coach. He's one of those guys that he's special. He's got that gift. He's got that whatever that is that you have to have, I think, to be a head coach, Todd Bates exemplifies every single thing you could possibly want. He's got a great understanding of the game. He's young. He's just gets it on all levels. So, him moving into a leadership role is going to really help me, and lean on him from a lot of head coach things, and again, collaboration and discussion. So I'm excited about Todd being able to step in that role, and what an unbelievable job he has done, and somebody I have a lot of just so much trust in his opinion, in everything. He's also our recruiting coordinator, so just more responsibility for him, and again, he'll be a head coach sooner than later one of these days, no doubt about it to me. And then the last thing, we'll restructure. With Thad moving on, and what a great opportunity for Thad. I've known Thad for 30 years, 30-plus years, and for him to get an opportunity to kind of go be the Woody role for Brent, it's going to be really good for Brent, and because Brent's going to need some help there, and it's going to be great for Thad. So it's a really cool opportunity, and that's going to allow me to kind of blow some things up and restructure organizationally, kind of my org chart. Create some new opportunity for some peripheral people. There'll be a few things that you'll hear about, I'm sure, somewhere along the line. But I'm really, really excited about that. We've got an incredible staff, and it's all coming together. And it's been a lot of fun. I mean, it really has. It's been one of the best couple weeks of my life, really, just to be able to see people that you love achieve, something so special. So I'm excited about it, and again, day 2 of practice, got back in some pads today, and love what I see in our team. And then also super excited for Dan. He kind of let me know. I didn't know for sure it was going to happen, but I told him that brand new pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses he had on kind of gave it away when he came to let me know. But man, I'm so happy for Dan. Listen, Dan, he's going back where he started. He's a GA. Dan has been phenomenal to work with. He and Marcy, I mean, just friends for forever. But this is a great opportunity for him, and I'm thankful for him. He came in here at a time where we were transitioning, and man, he believed in me, and he believed in the vision, and especially when I kind of threw some things out there, and he had the guts. He had the guts to support it. And, man, we're standing in a building that doesn't happen if he didn't have the guts to buy into what I wanted to do. And knowing there was going to be some kickback. I told him, I said, man, soccer's going to be mad. Everybody's going to be mad. But we're all going to get better. And dadgum if soccer don't go win the national championship. And so shout out to the soccer team and Noonan and the boys. What an unbelievable season that they had, and man, great finish in the postseason. So I'm so happy for our soccer team as well. But man, just all you can do is thank Dan for the great work he did for Clemson. He made Clemson better, and I can tell you this: we're in great hands with our acting AD in Graham Neff. He's special, and that's one of the things I think Dan. He and I talked about this. I take a lot of pride in developing our staff. Just like you take a lot of pride in developing your players and knowing that they're prepared. Man, Dan has prepared Graham well, and he's a special guy, and look forward to seeing how all that unfolds down the road. So, and again, last thing, just congrats to the soccer team, and appreciate all the fans coming out and supporting them, up in North Carolina, and then also when they got back the other night. What a great moment for Clemson, and a great moment for Noonan, his team, and the whole staff. So with that, I'm sure y'all got a couple questions, so fire away.
So Wes will call plays,
Yeah.
and then figure out who's going to be in the booth on the field?
Yeah, Wes will be on the field, and Mickey will probably stay up in the box. We're still going to talk through that a little bit, but Wes will call it. He was already on the field, so he'll just call it.
Yeah, well, we all know how you feel about elevating your guys after years. I'm guessing, though, when these openings came up, your phone blew up with a lot of interest and people who, college football fans would know.
Yeah.
Did any of that give you pause? Did you
No.
stop and think?
No, this was 30 seconds.
Yeah.
This has been done for a while, just a matter of when. And so that's one of the reasons Brent wanted to take Wes with him too. But certainly wasn't going to let that happen. But yeah, it was kind of a triple whammy, because not only is everybody reaching out for a job here, they're reaching out to get a job with Brent, reaching out to get a job with Tony, and so that part's been a little crazy, but it's been cool too, because I've been able to communicate with a lot of people, and been good to catch up with some folks and had some good conversations. But absolutely, incredible interest.
Dabo, at what point did you know in Wes's career, like, hey, this is a guy that when we have, I would be interested in him moving into college?
He's been with me since '09, and when I first met him in '09, I knew he was special. And then watching him coach on the field, being a GA for us, and he's this guy gets it, and he coached our safeties in 12, and then he left after the bowl game that year to Bruce stole him from me, and then Bruce retired, and I was able to get him back, or he'd still probably be in the NFL, and then it's a miracle that I still got him these past 3 years, but he's stayed patient, and again, I've articulated to him, where he was, and that's one of the reasons he stayed here, because he really wants to be here. He's got a young family, and his wife Jenna Lee, they love it here. So I've known for quite a while how special he was, and he's going to do a great job. There's no doubt about it, and the players know too.
The other part of his job is recruiting. How do you feel like he will do in players' home or in recruits' homes or here?
He'll do great. Just be who he is. He's going to do just fine. He's been a part of recruiting for however many years, other than the few that he was in the NFL. So he's been a part of it on the inside. He's been on phones. He's had conversations. He's had meetings. He's been a part of all of it. So it's just relationships, just like anything else. And just like Tony was very different than Chad Morris, like polar opposite. Wes is going to be different than Brent, but they're both great. And so biggest thing is just be himself.
Wes won't need a get-back guy?
No, I don't think he'll need one. Smoke's gone anyway, dadgummit. I lost my get-back guy too. So I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but
I see going with Tony to Virginia.
Smoke's going to be, what an opportunity for him to go be the head dude at Virginia, man. That's, how cool is that? So just awesome.
Dabo, with Goodwin, I guess you can expect a lot of what we've seen schematically, Clemson on defense, or.
Yeah, it's the Clemson defense. I've always set the tone for what we do on offense and defense. That's never going to change. We have a philosophy that's been in place here for a long time, and everything we do is within that philosophy. So that ain't going to change. But every coach has their own, twist and personality, and you certainly want them to impart that. And all I can tell you is we're going to be a great defense.
Can you elaborate a little bit just what his role was, game prep wise, game day wise?
There's nothing he hasn't done. He was trusted just like a D coordinator for the last many years. Unbelievable mind, unbelievable planner, unbelievably organized, incredibly smart. He's been a huge part of our success. Absolutely. He's got it. He can see it and draw it in seconds. Just amazing. What he's been able to do for us. In his role.
Somebody said that when people think Clemson is stealing plays on defense, that it was actually Wes being able to kind of look at a formation or see somebody go in motion and be able to call it on them. Have you seen that where? Oh yeah,
he sees it. He sees it. He knows it. You have breakdown. He knows it right away. Right away. It's just he's just gifted. He's a very, very gifted, but he's worked at it. This guy. I've never been around anybody that's worked harder to be great at what he does. And this guy has prepared for a long time for this opportunity, and it's going to be fun to watch him be who he is and take the reins.
Brent commanded a room in such a different way, I guess. How do you replace that sort of impact just with the players in his room and the game day and all that?
again, I'm not trying to replace that. I just need them to be who they are. We've got a great staff, and it wasn't just Brent. And Brent was standing here, he'd tell you that to this day. Brent did his part, but Mike Reed and Todd Bates and Mickey Kahn and Lemansky Hall are all still here. And those guys did an amazing job. One guy can't coach everybody. It's just like everybody giving me all the credit. I mean, I'm one guy, I do my part, but it's everybody being a part of it. And, Wes has got great respect. There's nobody more respected than Wes Goodwin, and nobody. I mean, again, if you could have been a part of that team meeting last Wednesday, defensive team meeting, you'd know what I'm talking about. Incredible respect. And then Mickey, that's why he's co-coordinator. Mickey's been a head coach forever. And again, just like with Jeff and Tony, those guys will both, have great opportunities to lead. And then there's these guys. I mean, Mike Reed and what he's done here, and Todd. I mean, it's not just one person, and everybody else is just sit there. That's not how we do things. I mean, we've got an incredible group, and Wes will do a great job of leading and a great job of empowering the staff as we transition.
Dabo, what does this challenge do for you? Because Dan, Brent, Tony, they were all tentpole guys in what we've seen the last decade out of you guys.
Yeah, again, it's no different to me than when we lost Taj Boyd. We lost Sammy Watkins, and it's just you keep developing, you keep moving, you keep growing, you keep getting better, and man, it's great. It's great energy. Again, I love continuity, but I also love change and new opportunity. Both of those are great, and just depending on wherever you are and what you're dealing with, and so this is fun. It's fun. I mean, it's like I can't tell you how many people were checking on me the last 2 weeks. Thought I was like dying or something. I'm like, what is going on? This is a blast. I just don't get that. This is an absolute blast. You get to see people you love. You get to help them, and see them get an opportunity. But then on that side, you're like, man, it's sad because you're not going to be with them every day. Just like when you see, when Trevor had to leave. Man, I'm sad that he has to go, but, hey, I mean, he's got to go. But, man, I'm so excited for that next challenge and that next opportunity, and that's what life's all about. So, trust me, we're going to be just fine, just like we always have. And let me tell you, if I walked out of here today, if the good Lord took me out of here today, Clemson is built to last. Man, there is a culture here, there is a foundation here that is rooted deeply. And so, man, this place is so much bigger than me. It's bigger than Dan. It's bigger than any assistant coach. It's bigger than any player. When Deshaun Watson rolled out of here, we're never going to win again. And Trevor rolled out of here, and, man, we're going to be just fine. Man, it's going to be a blast to see it all come together, and I'm excited about some of the people that are going to be coming in some different type of roles, over the next few weeks as we kind of solidify everything. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Dabo, kind of a two.
And I'm most excited about our team. I mean, we got a great team. We got a lot of guys. Eventually, we're going to get all these guys back. It's going to be a fun spring. Again, a lot of energy, a lot of excitement with guys with some new opportunity. But, man, we got a heck of a football team coming back. So we're going to do the best we can in this bowl game to rally them one more time, and hopefully we get a couple of bodies back. But certainly by spring training, we've got a chance to put a heck of a football team together.
Kind of a two-part question. Was there consideration bringing someone else in to fill those roles? And I guess how much did continuity play a factor in those final decisions?
Yeah, for me, I'm always going to promote from within when it's feasible. It's not always feasible. When I hired Chad Morris in 2011, it wasn't feasible. When I hired Brent Venables, it wasn't feasible. When I brought Todd Bates in to replace Dan Brooks, it wasn't feasible. So I've always, I hire people from all kind of places. I'm gonna hire the best person. I'm not hiring what other people want me to do and all that stuff. I'm gonna hire who's best for this team, for this university, for me, etc. So sometimes it's very easy. Again, I go back to 2014 when Chad left. That took 30 seconds. Oh, great. All right. Boom. Here we go. It was like the simplest decision ever. And that's exactly where we are in this case in a couple of those instances. Now, again, we'll have a few new people in some peripheral spots, but very easy, very easy. And I think if you're going to be successful in anything, you better develop your staff. You better develop your staff. If you have a great organization, you have to develop your organization. And sometimes it's not feasible based on where you are. You might have a good person, but they're not quite ready. But that's not the case where we are right now. This was a very easy decision in all areas.
You mentioned Brett wanted to take Wes. Did he also attempt with Reed and Bates at all, or is there like a?
Yeah, we talked. He and I. I'll keep our conversations private, but he and I talked about a lot of people. Just like Tony and I sat down and. And I said, well, I'm not going to let you have that one, and I'm not going to let you have that one. And he's like, well, I'm going to try. I'm like, well, that's great. I'd be proud of you to go try, but you better try hard. You have, this is great, because I want to help. I want them to have a chance. And like for Miguel, what a cool opportunity for Miguel to be able to go. And the same thing for Thad. I mean, a true chief of staff role for him. And, so it's great. It's great. But we talked about a lot of things. But, again, you're talking about great friendships, great relationships. And, nobody wants those guys to be more successful than me. But I'm sure they talk to a lot of people. I don't know.
Will Richardson be in the box and then stylistic?
He's going to be on the bed. So... Again, when I called him, he's been waiting for that. He's been waiting for that call for 6 years. And again, he's turned down several jobs. A couple of SEC jobs, a couple of ACC jobs, a couple of I don't know what conference that I don't know if it's Conference USA, whichever one it is. But he's had several jobs, but he stayed very patient. This guy was born. To come to Clemson one day, and it's just kind of cool how it's worked out. So I'm really excited for him. And again, you're talking about a head coach who walked away from a very successful career, and he's been patient. But he has been an amazing asset to us holistically within our program since he's been here. But again, you don't predict these things. You have no idea, and all of a sudden, bam, something happens, and we had talked about he had something he had to get taken care of in his back, and we kind of said, well, this will be a good time to do it, and so it was kind of crazy when we had the conversation, but he won't be in the box for sure, but when we get back going this spring and all that, we'll restructure. He'll probably next year be on the field, and he'll probably put Streeter in the box most likely, and let Kyle kind of run the huddle and stuff downstairs and all that, but we'll get to that. But he won't be with us at the bowl. He'll be in all the Zoom and all that stuff, but he's got to heal up.
Hugh Freeze was in a bed in the Bronx one time.
I don't think that's gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Dabo, did you and Tony discuss, I guess in general terms, the fact that you're probably going to face each other at some time? I don't know if that's happened to you.
Hey, I play a lot of my friends. That'll be cool. I guess I'm getting older. I got a Hall of Famer, and now I got a tree. I had a twig, and now I got a branch or two. So that's just the way it is. Hopefully you can do a good enough job and be able to be a head coach long enough. The goal, that's what I always said, the goal's never been to be a young head coach. The goal is to be an old head coach. All right? So many people are in a hurry to be a young head coach. My goal has always been to be an old head coach. That means you've been able to last and sustain and so forth. So, and if you are able to do that, well, you're going to have those things. But, you go compete just like Coach Beamer and I. We're going to compete for the rest of our careers as we go against each other. But that don't mean we can't have great respect for each other like we always have. It's just like when we play and be like brothers. You want to beat your brother. And you hope you beat them, but you still love them, no matter what.
It's the Clemson offense, but I'm sure Brandon would like to put his stamp on it, maybe in the spring. Has he discussed with you, hey, I'd like to do this, I'd like to?
Yeah, we've talked.
to do
Yeah,
this?
we've talked about lots of things, but again, we are where we are, and we kind of got what we got right now. But we're going to have a lot more added to the puzzle, especially when we get some guys back healthy and get some more things added in here from a recruiting standpoint. But yeah, we'll have lots of discussions about those things. But still a philosophy, and as long as we're operating within that philosophy, we're going to be great.
So, Dabo, just to be clear, you did not officially interview any external candidates for these coordinator roles?
I did not. This was, 30 seconds. That'd be hard for me to interview somebody in 30 seconds because that's how long it took to make a decision. Again, when this has been a plan for a while. And again, it's one of the reasons guys have stayed patient. And so it's been great.
Yeah, but you mentioned in 2014 when Chad left, people thought y'all would never get a first down again. Have you heard some of that? Have you heard some of that talk now with Brent leaving?
I know it's out there because Ross likes to give me the vibe of stuff. I don't pay attention to any of that. That's the last thing I got time for. Again, as I said earlier, this is what I do for a living. Since 1993, I've been coaching football. All I can tell you, when I got this job in 2009, Clemson had not won an ACC championship in 20 years. And I wasn't a real popular hire. And when I got the job in 2009, you were at that first press conference. And boy, you only come to the big press conferences, so usually he zooms in now. He zooms in, but when I got the job in 2009, Clemson hadn't won 10 games in 20 years. When I got the job in 2009, Clemson hadn't won a national championship since 1981. So, if all I can say is if people don't believe in me after 13 years of what they've experienced at Clemson, they ain't ever going to believe in me. So I have never worried about trying to please whatever. I wouldn't even say the masses, the minority. I've never worried about that. Only thing I worry about is what's right, and loving my players and developing great men through the game. And keeping the main thing. Our vision of this program has never changed. I've never been one to chase championships. I just chase hearts and just try to build great men through the game. And if we can do that, championships will come. And that's never changed, never going to change. That's the purpose of what we do. And so, again, that's what I would say is if people don't believe in me and if I haven't demonstrated enough good decision-making over 13 years, so now we're going for our 11th 10-plus win season in a row. And that hadn't won in 20 years. We've won 7 conference titles in the last, 10 years or whatever it is. We've won 2 national championships, and we're an onside kick away from a third. And we beat the best of the best of the best of the best to do it. And we've done it the Clemson way. We, in my opinion, are the model program in college football. There's nobody out there having the type of consistency that we've had on and off the field, academically and success on the field. So I don't really know what else to say. If people don't believe in me, they ain't never going to believe in me.
Speaking of healthy, Justin Ross, Joseph Ngata, do you have to get maybe somebody back for the bowl game?
Ross, no, but Ngata, hopefully. There's a chance, if we don't have some type of setback, I would say there's a chance. Probably another day. He's working hard in yellow right now, so probably know a little bit more about him by the end of the week. We've got EJ back. That's a positive. Just hope, we can keep progressing with a couple of these guys. Salato's in green, so it's good to get him back. He's been out for a couple ball games since got hurt in pregame. So it's been kind of crazy, but man, we found a way. And again, playing our best football somehow, some kind of way.
In addition to Ross, any other guys that might opt out and start preparing for the draft?
Ross hadn't opted out. Who said Ross opted out?
Opted out, but they won't be able to play for the won't be able to play in the bowl.
No, right. Yeah, we haven't had anybody opt out, but Ross is just not going to be ready to play. But he'll be with us. He'll be there. He'll be with us. As far as injury wise, right now the only one is Spector. He's got to have. In fact, he had surgery today. As a matter of fact, today's 14th, so he had to have surgery. So he is going to be out. Had to have his hand fixed. So he's not. He's been playing with a broken part in his hand for a couple games, and so they had to get that fixed. So he's not going to be able to be healed up in 14 days or whatever we got. So he literally just had surgery today. But other than that, there's really nothing new.
Yeah, well, this may sound silly, but when Dan tells you he's leaving, does any part of you think, yeah, AD, I think I can do that?
Oh no, and I will never be an AD. That's one thing you can count on. Two things you can count on. This is as far north as I'm going, and anywhere where there's a lot of snow, I ain't going. So you ever hear I'm going past South Carolina or where there's a bunch of snow, they lying. And if you ever hear anybody tell you I'm gonna be the AD, they lying there too. So. I'll be sitting on the beach somewhere before I'm an AD. That's for dang sure.
Dabo, this time, 10 years ago, Clemson, West Virginia, they put 70 on you. What do you remember?
Woo, boy. You going to go there?
I am going to go there. What you remember about it? And then the path that it kind of set you guys on after that.
That was painful. I remember Andre Ellington going in on the inch line, and I'm thinking we scored and we're going up by 6 points or whatever we were going to be up. Next thing I know, the ball's going 100 yards that way, and I'm like, surely that's not happening. And next thing you know, instead of going up, you're down. And then they come out and kick it off, and dadgum, if we don't turn it over, score. They kick it off, score. And, I mean, it was like, wow. I mean, it was crazy. So it was a bad night. But I remember very clearly meeting with our team afterwards and saying, you know what, this was a bad moment, but man, what a year we had. We're building. It was our first 10-win season in 20 years. It was the first time to go to the Orange Bowl in 30 years. And my exact message to the team was, this hurts tonight. This will make us better. Don't magnify this and dwell on this. We'll learn from it. We'll grow from it. But man, let's look at what we did do. So many people just focus on what you didn't do. I love to focus on what we did do. And then let's grow from the other. But I also remember very clearly, and I said it to the press, it won't be 30 years before we're at the Orange Bowl again. And if I remember correctly, we were there 2 years later, and we beat Ohio State and won the BCS. So I remember it like it was yesterday. That was crazy. And I remember Chad Morris. Most of y'all know Milt Louder. I remember it like it was because when I hired Chad, I didn't really tell him about Milt. He didn't know who the hell Milt was. And we're out there at that first spring practice, and Milt had been with me since '09, just trying to kind of have a performance psychologist guy. I thought that was kind of cool. And so we're at spring practice, and Taj is out there, and Milt's out there, and he comes because we were on in the season, and so Milt's over there. And Taj, I don't know, threw a pick or something in a practice, and Chad's out there doing his offensive stuff, and next thing he looks over there, and he's chomping his gum, and Milt's over there talking to Taj, and he's like, who the hell's talking to my quarterback? Who is this guy? And so he goes over and just like rips Milt. Milt's like, whoa, I'm trying to tell him who he is. And so, because we hadn't really got to that point yet, because he was just, we were getting spring ball, and Milt's not around as much in the spring when it comes to football stuff. And so, I'll never, ever, ever, ever forget it. It was crazy. Yeah, it was cold, too. That was a cold game. But so Chad kind of bought in, and he was like, okay, this and that. And so we get in that game, and I mean, it's just awful in the third quarter. And I'll never, he's chomping that gum. He's chomping them headsets, and we're going on there. And he's going, yeah. Where the hell's Milt now? I need Milt. Where's Milt? He's screaming in the headset, where's Milt? I need Milt. I don't see him now. Going around and around. It was one of the funniest moments ever in a really bad time. It was hysterical in that moment because he was dead serious, and I'm just like, so Milt and I we've had some laughs over that for many years. He's probably watching this somewhere. He'll be laughing about that.
Ted Roof was able to come in as an analyst and go with Brent. Great opportunity. Do you expect any more of these guys to kind of come in as analysts?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, like, here's a guy that, Brent initially didn't really know Ted and wasn't really sure. And I went to him, and, Ted and I are neighbors up at the lake. And it was a situation. I was like, look, he's a great guy. He's not even going to be at the games. Ted was just looking for he wanted the opportunity to learn. He wanted the opportunity to kind of be a part of our program, how we do it. And he wanted to be able a chance to go be a dad and watch his son play at App State. So he was only at a couple of games all season, and gave him the opportunity to come in, and he was very helpful. And now he's with Brent. So it's kind of cool to be able to pull those things together. And we've got John Gross is going to come on board. John is been the head coach for the last 8 years at Jacksonville State. A brilliant offensive guy. Offensive coordinator before that, one of the best high school coaches ever in Alabama, and a coach I've known for a long time. And what a great job he did at Jacksonville State. So when that situation occurred, I've talked to him. I reached out to him a while back. Was going to try to get him here. So this is going to be great for him. He'll bring a lot, to us, and excited about that. But we're pretty set. I think with it's really kind of got everything set where it needs to be, and but we need to finish up, and then we'll roll forward from there.
Nick's kind of known as a guy who rehabs coaches a little bit with the guys coming in as analysts. Are you proud of that too? That now Terry's gone on and taken some of your staff, and now Ted's done this and giving John a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, I love creating opportunity for people any way possibly that I can, and I think you take pride in trying to develop your players and seeing them be equipped and seeing them be successful, and it's no different in your staff. So I'm happy for everyone who's gotten an opportunity.
How's Brazil's rehab going?
He's doing great. He's doing really, really well. We got several guys. Dietrich. Dietrich looks great. Every time I look at him, it just makes me sick because, we could have used him. But thankful he'll be ready for spring, and Brazil be ready to roll. Xanders looks great. I mean, we got a mass unit for sure, but all those guys are progressing nicely.
Dabo, anything you're willing to share regarding NFL draft decisions?
No, not right now. I think those guys are all just focusing on, finishing well, and that there's nothing, definite that I think anybody has decided. I mean, obviously we know who our seniors are, but you got a couple guys that really have, could come back. So we'll see. Oh, I take that back. I will say this: BT's coming back. How about that? I will tell you that because he did come tell me yesterday. So that's pretty cool. To have as good a kicker as we've had come through here come back. He's 20 for 20 in his last 20 on the road. He had that one game. Otherwise, I think he'd had a chance to win the Groza. I really do. So that's pretty special to be able to get a guy like him coming back. What a weapon he is.
Is this his 9th season?
It'll be his fifth year, COVID year. Pretty cool. But other guys, I think everybody's just focusing on this game and then make some decisions after that.
Without naming names, you had some high-profile decommitments recently. What did you chalk that up to?
Just there's always some consequences with change, and it's all good. I don't. You're never going to hear me. Listen, y'all know I'm a person of faith. God never says oops. I truly am prayerful about who comes here, and I always pray that it's God's will. And so, if this isn't the right place for a young man, then hey, listen, all you can do is wish him well. I mean, I've never worried about that. I just focus on who is here and doing the best job I can, with those guys, because that's the ones that I know it's God's will that they're here. That's how I look at it. So we're thankful to have the opportunity to recruit young people, and you meet a lot of great people along the way. But at the end of the day, everybody's got a decision to make. And, sometimes there's some consequences with change, and it's a little bit different landscape out there, but it's all good.
You said this has been in the works for a while. It's years accurate. Like, do you have a
Yeah.
ballpark? Okay.
Yep. I hadn't had any change in 7. It's been a while, so
Even if you knew that, did Wes know it?
yeah.
You'd
Oh
already
yeah.
told him years
Oh yeah.
ago?
That's the only way I kept him. Not 7 years ago, but in the last couple of years, he's known that. It's the only reason I was able to keep him, I think, because, again, he's turned down several jobs. He's a no drama guy. No drama guy, and it's been awesome to be able to keep him.
Brent never met a gut X blitz on 3rd and 11 that he didn't like. Are you excited about seeing the nuances of how Wes kind of calls a game?
Wes works with the best of the best. He got to start with Ellis Johnson, and I worked with Ellis at Alabama, good friend, and man, Ellis is one of the best. He worked with Kevin Steele. Kevin Steele is one of the best, and then he's been around some great ones in the NFL. Spent a lot of time with Sylvester Croom as well. Bruce, man, he and I both done a tour of duty with Bruce. So I worked for Bruce in 1997. I was his tight ends coach. So he was our quarterbacks coach, and I was his tight ends coach. So one of the best years of my life was working for him. I learned a lot, and so we've always had that connection. Bruce has tried to take him back, but again, we're able to hang on to him. But he's worked with obviously Brent, and I mean, so he just has a wealth of experience that I think he will tap into, and again, do it his way. That's all I want him to do within the Clemson philosophy.
So is that how Wesley sort of got on your radar at first back in 09, just working with those guys?
Yeah,
or-
when he first came in here, I just got the job, and I hired Woody. Woody came in, and Woody tells you something, you better listen. And it's one of the things he told me. He didn't tell me anything about anybody other than Dab. I got one guy, and you got to find a way to bring him. I'm like, well, who is it? And he said, bring him here as a GA, and so that's how he got here. I didn't know who he was, but when he got here in 09, and I got a chance to start watching him, it was like, okay, this kid's pretty special, and then he's just blossomed. So it's been awesome, and I think Ellis was. I was laughing. He was texting Woody, and everybody that knows Wes is super excited for Wes. This team, unbelievably excited for Wes, and not just Wes, Mickey too. Mickey's going to be a huge part of this as well. But just like Jeff and Tony. But I think what he said, Ellis said, if Wes tells you something, do it. He said, if Wes tells you he's not sure, don't do it. And if Wes don't talk to you, that's because he knows you're a dumb whatever. And that's a direct quote from Ellis in only his way. So kind of sums him up right there.
His nickname is Weslichek.
Weslichek, yeah. They've been calling him that for a long time around here. So he probably ought to go coach a game or two before we get that public. But he's going to be a great one. He's going to be a great one.
High school ball, or how did he get into that?
Yeah, he played high school ball, and he went to Starkville, and he was actually working with baseball over and who the great coach was it Polk? Is that his name? He was working with him, and somehow I can't remember the exact story, but somehow they were like, this guy. Y'all, I don't know what happened. Y'all need to get this guy over here, and somehow he met Ellis. Ellis was the D coordinator, and so he started working with Ellis, and the rest is history. And he's just a gifted grinder. That's worked his butt off to get to this point, and nobody deserves it more.
Dabo, is it crazy that everybody says the same thing about Wes when they meet him, and how he just blows their mind away with how smart he is with that stuff?
Is that crazy? No. It's called consistency. That means he is who he is. he is who he is.
Any questions for Coach from Zoom?
Hey, Coach, it's Trevor. I know
Trevor's not here? How are you not here?
Here I am. I'm wrapping up a self-quarantine, Coach. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
But I know that you'll have your exit interviews after the bowl game, but I was just curious if you have any idea of whether Tyler Vanderbilt's leaning forward to staying at Clemson.
Yeah, Tyler's told me he's staying. Brent told me he's staying. So I think that's, Brent wants him to stay here. Tyler told me he was staying. Jake's staying. Jake's going to transition, off the field. But I think both of them are planning on being here. Again, anything could change, but that's their intention, and super excited about that.
Thanks, Coach.
Dabo, kind of along the same lines, were there any guys that considered transferring when Brent left that you had to talk to about?
No. Obviously, we had the Tyson and Frank. I think those are and Joe. I think those are public.
All right, I think we need to get our video staff over to basketball. So appreciate everybody. Coach, thanks for your time.
Answer to that question.
Anything else? Going once, going twice.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. All right, appreciate it.